Hey, I'm in. Sorry about that, everyone. A few technical hitches this morning. I had my camera turned around the other way. I was recording the wall. Gosh. Morning, welcome. I'm here now. Okay, so today in our yoga practice, we'll be focusing on tree pose. So this pose is great for balance, it's great for focus. I think I need that this morning. It's also good for strengthening the legs and the ankles, and it's also good for helping to improve your hip mobility. So thank you to Leslie for requesting this pose. And also I'm going to put a few nice twists in this morning's practice. That's a request from Claire, so thank you also. As always, practice with care, okay? So just be mindful of how you're feeling this morning when you're doing your yoga practice. You'll need your mat. Also, if you've got a strap, it might come in handy in a couple of the poses this morning. Don't worry if not, we can improvise, but it might come in handy. Okay, shall we begin? Enjoy, everyone. We're going to start this morning in reclined bound angle pose. So for this pose, you want the soles of your feet together, the knees apart, and we're coming down onto our backs. Okay, so just let gravity take your knees down towards the floor, down towards the mat, and take your hands to rest wherever they feel comfortable. So that might be away from your sides, it may be on your tummy. Let's push the back of the head into the mat so we can lift and separate the shoulder blades before relaxing them back down. And really get a sense of letting the body settle into the mat. Notice if there's any gripping in your inner thigh muscles, and try and relax that. Try and just let go. Now take your focus to your breath. So take in nasal breathing, breathing in and out through the nose. Letting your body settle, your breath settle, and your mind settle. Bring us into that nice place to begin our yoga practice this morning. We're going to make our way into a semi-supine position to start our warm-up. So if you can, just bring your knees together. Knee to chest pose first, starting right side. So take hold of the back of the right knee, draw the knee up, draw the knee down, and let's extend the left leg out along the mat, keeping the feet nice and relaxed this morning. Spine is long, chin slightly towards the chest. More breaths here. Now we're going to take this into a twist. So left hand takes your right knee all the way across the body, kind of hovering, or if you can, rest it on the floor. Right arm up and over, so you're stretching from left foot to right arm. A nice big deep breath here. And then from your twist, we're coming into a reclined tree pose. So rolling onto your back, keeping your right leg bent, we're going to pop the foot on the floor and just draw that knee out to the side. So sole of right foot resting on the inside of your left leg. Let's take both arms up and over. Draw the shoulders away down from the ears, flex your left foot. Couple of breaths here. And release. We're coming back to a semi-supine position. So back on your back with your legs bent. Take hold of the back of the left knee, knee to chest pose. Let's extend the right leg, keep the feet relaxed. Let's move into our twist. So your right hand takes your left knee all the way across the body if you can. So you're laying on right side. Stretching from right foot to left hand. Enjoy the stretch and enjoy the twist. 2 more breaths here.
And then release onto your back. I'll lay in tree pose, so this left leg stays bent. Pop the foot on the floor. Let's take that knee out to the side. Rest the left foot on the inside of your right thigh. And then take both arms up and over. Flex your right foot. A bit of strength now coming into the legs and into the arms. Spine is long. 2 more breaths. And release. Let's take semi-supine position again. Eye of the needle pose. So we're going to start right foot. So if you take your right foot and pop it on top of your left thigh, just use your hand to encourage that knee a little bit further out to the side. Few options for this one. You can keep the pose here, or you can use your belt, your strap behind the back of the left thigh, or you can catch hold of the back of the left thigh and start to draw that knee towards your chest. Notice how you are with the upper body. You want your spine long along the mat, chin towards the chest. Try and relax your shoulders down into the mat as well. So you really want to be up here. Upper body relaxed. Let's take 3 breaths here. One more breath. And then incorporate a nice hamstring stretch. So let's straighten that left leg. Okay, release. Come back down. We're taking that opposite side, so your left foot on top of your right thigh. Can you get that knee out to the side just a little bit more? Option 1, keep it here. Option 2, a little lift to the right foot. Or option 3, to hug this knee in towards the chest with your hands or with your belt. Taking 3 breaths. And then adding the hamstring stretch. So let's float that right foot up towards the ceiling. And release. Really nice. Okay, so hugging your knees in towards your chest. You need to do a few knee circles to massage your lower back. We're coming up. We're going to rock up to an easy cross-legged position. Okay, spine is long. We're going to start with side stretch. Next, in breath, take right hand up towards the ceiling. So as you reach up right hand, ground down into your right sitting bone. And then stretch across. Really push into that right side as you pull back right shoulder. Take the gaze towards the ceiling. Stretch out. Now add in a twist. This right hand goes behind the back of the waist. Left hand to right knee. It's an in-breath to lengthen through the upper body. And an out-breath to twist to the right. So you're looking over your right shoulder towards the back of your room. Keep sitting nice and upright. Couple more breaths here. And then release your twist. Let's take that opposite side. So it's an in-breath, take left hand up towards the ceiling and really stretch it out. And then an out-breath to reach across. Back with the top shoulder, so you're turning your chest towards the ceiling. Keep pushing into the mat with your left sitting bone. Let's take it into our twist. Left hand behind the back of the waist. Right hand, left knee. It's an in-breath to lengthen. And it's an out-breath to twist to the left, just glancing over that left shoulder. Be careful not to strain your neck. And release your twist. Okay, so if your legs are across, we're going to take the other ankle in front this time. Seated cat stretch. Take the hands out in front, interlace the fingers. It's a tilt of the pelvis towards the navel and just tuck the chin in slightly towards the chest. So you feel a nice separation in the shoulder blades. I'll turn this way actually so you can see better. You've got this nice doming, this rounding of your spine. Just pause here for a couple of breaths. Now start start to apply your internal lock. So you're going to pull up on the pelvic floor as you draw your belly button towards your spine. So notice you start to sit nice and upright as you do that. Let's take the arms up so that they're alongside the ears. Lift of the chest, a lift of the gaze. Draw the shoulders away from the ears and the shoulder blades down your back. And then release our seated version of cow pose. So you're going to interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift of the chest, lift of the gaze as you lift the arms away from your back. So you can squeeze and lift a little bit more. And then release. We're going to come to an all fours position. Let's set our tabletop pose here. So take your knees underneath your hips, take your wrists underneath your shoulders. Really spread the fingers, push your thumbs, your fingertips into the mat, lock the elbows. Keep these internal locks applied. We're coming up into downward facing dog. Turn your toes, lift your bottom up, push it back. It's a softening of the knees as we push into the mat to get the chest closer to the thighs. And now let's slowly walk it out. Pedaling the heels up and down, one leg straightens, the other leg bends. A little sway of the hips. Bend the right one more time, bend the left one more time, and then bend with both legs to see if you can get your chest closer to the thighs. And then sink your heels down. Enjoy the stretch. Pause here for 3 breaths. For 2. For 1. We're going to lower the knees down to the mat. Wide kneed extended child's pose, and we're adding a twist. Big toes come together to touch. And take your knees as wide apart as you can. If they come off the mat and that's uncomfortable, you may want to turn sideways on your mat. So keep the bottom snuggled down towards the heels as you stretch the hands away as far as you can. We'll twist to the right first. Let's take this left hand underneath the right armpit. So you're resting on your left shoulder, your left ear. And creep your right fingertips even further away. Then relax the shoulder, sink into the pose. 3 nice big deep breaths. And release your twist, stretch that out in the centre. Let's take that the other side. So you're threading your right hand underneath your left armpit, resting on right ear, right shoulder. Creep the left fingertips away even more, and then relax. For 3, for 2, for 1, and release your twist. Come back up. We're going to come back to an all fours position. Before we come to standing, just going to stretch the legs out a little bit more in a 3-legged dog. So set your tabletop pose. Cores engage. Let's turn the toes, take a lift. Little bend of the legs, get your chest closer towards your thighs, then sink the heels down towards the mat. Next, in-breath, sweep the right leg high. If you can, come onto the ball of the left foot so you can reach up even more with that right leg. Push your chest closer towards that left thigh and then start to sink your left heel down towards the mat. Keep the elbows locked, keep the arms really strong. 2 more breaths here. Ooh, and release. Let's walk that out in the centre. We're going to take our 3-legged dog left side. Are you ready? Next in-breath, sweep the left leg high. Come on to the ball of the right foot. Can you reach up even higher? Chest close to that thigh as you sink right heel down to the mat. For 3, for 2, for 1, and release. Let's pedal it out. We're coming to a dangling pose. Let's walk the feet towards the hands. Feet hip distance. Take hold of your elbows and let the weight of your upper body carry you forwards. So upper body nice and relaxed. And just pause here for a couple of breaths while I see who's joined us. Oh, hi Tyler. I take it it's Izzy who's doing it and not you. Morning everyone. I can see a few faces. I can see Kerry. Oh. Okay. Take the chin towards the chest then. On your next in-breath, slowly roll up to standing. All the way up. And then release hold of your elbows. Spread the toes, really push your feet into the mat. Just as we did in seated at the beginning of the practice, we're going to reach out forwards with the hands. Interlace the fingers, you get this separation in the shoulder blades. And then take the arms up. Taking the arms alongside the ears, draw the shoulders away from the ears, the shoulder blades down the back. And take the gaze upwards towards the hands. You can keep the hands like this. I think I've gone off screen. Keep the hands like this, or you can bring the palms together. See how that feels on the shoulders. If you're tight in the shoulders this morning, keep the hands shoulder distance. Your upward facing mountain, so as you push down into your feet, reach up to the ceiling with your hands. One more nice big deep breath here. And then release the arms and on your sides. Warrior One pose, and we're going to take it into a twisted chair pose. So we'll send the left leg back first. A really nice big generous step back with that left leg. Back foot 45-degree angle. Unless you're working with any knee or ankle issues this morning, you might want to rest on the ball of the foot instead. So see what feels better for you. You're going to sink down nice and low in that right leg. Back leg nice and straight. Let's reach the arms forwards like we did before. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears, take the arms up. Palms together. Gaze up towards the hands. Can you straighten that back leg a little bit more? Can you rebend that front leg some more? Keep the upper body nice and long. For 3. For 2. For 1. We're going to release the hands down to your heart centre. It's one big step towards the top of the mat. For our chair pose, we're bringing the feet together. So big toes touch, heels just a little bit apart. Really squeezing the thighs towards one another. Draw up pelvic floor. In breath to prepare. And on an out breath, squat down, chair position. Keep the upper body nice and long. On your next out breath, we're going to twist to the right. So we're going to hook this left elbow over right knee, or at least heading in that direction. Draw back with your top shoulder. Take your gaze towards the ceiling. Really squeeze, quite a strong pose. For 3. For 2. For 1. With control, release your twisted chair. Reaching up, all the way up, upward facing mountain. And then release your hands by your sides. Let's take that sequence opposite side. It's a step back with the right leg this time. Nice deep bend in the left, sink the hips low. Let's sweep the arms out in front, interlace the fingers. Then draw the arms back. Shoulders away from the ears, palms together. Lift of the chest, a lift of the gaze. Get that right leg a bit straighter. Bit of a deeper bend in the left. For 3. For 2. For 1. Draw your hands down to your heart centre. One big step to the top of the mat, big toes touching, heels slightly apart. Twisted chair. It's an in-breath to prepare and an out-breath to squat down. In-breath here, next out-breath, take right elbow to left knee and twist. Pulling back with your left shoulder, looking towards the ceiling. Just squeeze the inner thighs towards one another. For 3, for 2, for 1, and release your twist with control. It's an in-breath to reach up to the ceiling, upward facing mountain. And an out-breath to release the arms. Well done. So So we're moving into tree pose. We're going to go with this twice. It's a balance, so don't worry if balance isn't with you this morning, just give it a go. We're going to start mountain pose, feet hip distance. Gauge your internal locks, legs are strong. Take the weight into your left foot and just come on to the toes of the right. So you're taking that knee out to the side. See how it feels to lift that foot to your calf. Maybe that you want to go high, you might want to take it to your inner thigh. Always avoid the knee, don't put pressure on your knee. When you've chosen your leg position, hands come together heart centre. So find a spot on the floor to help you focus. When you've found your balance, take your hands towards the ceiling. If you can move your focus from the floor to the wall in front, give it a go. If you fall out, don't worry, just come back in when you're ready. You're taking the hands up, but the shoulders released away from the ears. Shoulder blades relax down the back. Couple more breaths here. Okay, and release the hands. Release the legs. Maybe walk it out in the centre. We're going to go again, opposite side. So come on to the toes of the left as you take that knee out to the side. Take your foot to calf, take your foot to inner thigh. Find that spot on the floor to help you focus. Hands heart centre. You found your balance. Take your hands towards the ceiling. Maybe shift your gaze from the floor to the wall in front. Two more breaths here. And then release the hands onto your heart and release your legs. Okay. Are you ready to go again? We're going to go again with tree pose. This time maybe shifting the focus from forwards to upwards. And if you get that sussed, you might want to try doing your tree pose with your eyes closed. Okay, so we'll see how we get on. Find your mountain. Let's come onto the toes of the right foot as you take that knee out to the side. Take your foot into position again. Hands heart centre. Hands towards the ceiling, nice and slow. Shift your gaze from the floor to the wall in front. And now maybe if balance is with you this morning, take your gaze towards the ceiling. How does that feel? And just give it a go of closing the eyes. Okay, and release. So release your gaze, release your hands, and release your legs. It's harder than it seems, that one. Okay, back to your mountain pose. Let's take that opposite side. Weight comes into the right leg. Let's come onto the ball of the left as we take that knee out to the side. Your foot into position. Your hands, your gaze. Hands up towards the ceiling. Start to shift your gaze from downwards to forwards to up. And then just experiment with closing your eyes for a moment. And release. How was that? Well done, everyone. Okay, we're coming down onto the mat. We're going to come down in a squat. So you take your heels a little bit wider than your hips, feet 10 to 2. Take the hands back together, heart centre. And we're going to come up, another balance, coming up onto the balls of the feet. Core strong, and start to lower. Keep the spine in a neutral position. Sitting bones heavy towards the mat. Sitting here for a couple of breaths. Before releasing and coming down to a seated position. So a couple of seated poses to finish. Might need the strap for this little sequence, so have it handy if you have one. Okay, find your sitting bones. Legs are strong and straight. We're pulling the toes back towards the shins. And it's an in-breath to stretch up. So as you take the hands up towards the ceiling, feel the spine lengthening. Out breath, we're going to release the arms to the side, shoulders away from the ears. Moving into a seated twist. So it's a bend of the right leg. You should really hug that foot in towards your body and hold it in place with left hand. Let's take an in-breath to take the right hand up towards the ceiling and an out-breath to twist to the right side. So facing towards the back of your room, and you're going to take this right hand behind the back of your waist. Keep the upper body nice and tall, nice and long. Glancing over your right shoulder, keep your left foot flexed, keeping the muscles of your left leg engaged. A nice big deep breath here. And release your twist. Keep this right leg bent. We're going to take the knee out to the side, so you almost come into like a seated tree shape. If this is enough for you, you're going to keep it here, nice and upright. Or if you want more, we're going to add a forward fold, nose to knee pose. If you're adding the forward fold, it's an in-breath to reach up towards the ceiling with your hands. And it's an out-breath to hinge forward at the hips. Taking your nose in the direction of your knee. So either holding on to lower leg, to your ankle, to your foot, or maybe your wrist. For 3, for 2, for 1. Release the hands, take them to the hips, coming up. It's a bend now of your left leg, heron's pose, a variation of heron's pose. So you're going to take hold of your left foot, engage the core, coming into a balance. So you have the option to keep this left leg bent, or option to straighten that left leg. And again, start to take your nose in the direction of your knee, your shin. Keep the upper body nice and long. 2 more breaths here. And release, nice, okay. We'll take that sequence opposite side. So starting with your seated staff pose, legs nice and strong. Let's take a bend in the left leg then. So taking that foot nice and close to your bottom. Hold left leg in place, right hand. It's an in-breath to reach up to the ceiling with the left. And it's an out-breath to twist towards the back of your room, taking that arm behind the back of your waist. Looking over your left shoulder. Keep the upper body nice and straight. For 3, for 2, for 1. With care, release your twist. No to knees pose. So sole of left foot on the inside of your right leg. Sitting nice and upright. Option to keep it here or option to add the forward fold. If you're adding the forward fold, let's take a breath in to reach up. And on an out breath, hinge forward at the hips, taking hold of somewhere on the lower leg, the foot or your wrist. For 3, for 2, for 1, and release. Hands to hips coming up. Let's take a bend in the right leg, our heron's pose. Holding on to your right foot, engage your core. A lift of the foot, and maybe straighten the leg. And maybe start to close that gap between your leg and your upper body. Couple more deep breaths here. And release. Okay, we're going to keep that left leg bent. Right leg comes down to join it. We're in bound angle pose. So soles of the feet together, knees out to the side, holding onto your feet. Upper body nice and long. If anyone wants to, you can add the forward fold, so you can lean forward. My body doesn't want to do that. I'm kind of stuck here, so I'm going to keep it in this nice upright position. Shoulders away from the ears. More breaths here, starting to slow down. We're coming down now to our final pose, our closing pose, the one we started our class with actually this morning. So if you come down onto your elbows, keep the legs as they are, and take the arms away from the side of the body. So resting on the backs of the hands with the palms facing up towards the ceiling. Start to let your breath slow down, heart rate slow down. And you can stay there for as long as you like. So that's it now, thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. So again, thanks to Leslie and Claire for your requests. If anyone else has any requests, please message me, that'd be fine. So a few more classes on Zoom this week, if anyone's interested. I think my full timetable's on my Facebook page. Thanks for joining me, and have a lovely day. I shall see you all soon. Thank you, bye.